Friends and family remember the victims of the Colorado mass shooting.
Plus updates on the jury selection and the Derek Chauvin trial.
And find out how your face can now be your ticket of admission at Disney parks.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV News at Noon. I'm Jake Evans.
And I'm Cami Farrell. The suspect in Colorado's mass shooting at a grocery store will face their first court appearance on Thursday. As authorities promise, justice will be served. In response, President Joe Biden calls for a ban on assault weapons. Camila Bernal in Boulder has more with the story.
She's giggly and bubbly and just you couldn't be sad around her.
Friends and family remembering the victims of the mass shooting in Boulder, Colorado.
He's my best friend. He's a brother to me.
10 lives cut tragically short on Monday.
She was a person who, all of her life really, she was about doing service, helping others.
Kevin was incredible. He was an incredible father, an incredible spouse, an incredible neighbor. He was just a wonderful, wonderful man who didn't deserve this at all.
The suspect, a 21-year-old man from nearby Arvada, is now facing 10 counts of murder in the first degree and 1 count of attempted murder. Authorities promising the grieving community that justice will be served. And now, with the country in the middle of its 7th mass shooting in the past week alone, President Joe Biden has once again called for an assault weapons ban and a wave of new gun control measures.
I don't need to wait another minute, let alone an hour, to take common sense steps that will save the lives in the future. And it should not be a partisan issue. This is an American issue. We should also ban assault weapons in the process.
In Boulder, Colorado, I'm Camila Bernal.
21-year-old Ahmad Al-Alwi Alyssa is the lone suspect in the mass shooting that occurred on Monday. Disturbing posts have now surfaced from the 21-year-old Ahmad Al-Alwi Alyssa's now scrubbed Facebook page. Alyssa made paranoid posts where he believes his former high school was hacking his phone. There were also other posts in which homophobic remarks were made. Damien Cruz, a close friend of Alyssa, says no one expected this from him. Flags are at half staff in the nation's capital for the second time in less than a week due to mass shootings.
Well, Cami, it's sure nice to feel a breeze outside this morning since yesterday's rain.
It sure is, Jake, and I wonder if that rain is here to stay. Let's take it to our weather anchor, Mariana Jimenez.
That's right, guys. We're going to see if the rain is staying or not. But now let's see the current conditions here in Denton. The temperature is 64 degrees with winds of 13 miles per hour, making it feel 62 degrees. Now, the things tonight are going to change. Temperature for tonight is going to be 63 degrees with 6 miles per hour of winds, but we're going to have an 80% of rain, so just grab a jacket and an umbrella in case. Now tomorrow the conditions are going to go back to the 60s. It's going to be 67 with winds of 14 miles per hour. The temperature is going to be the lowest 47 and it's going to be cloudy and rainy. That's all I have for a first look at weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Mariana. As many are still trying to get their COVID-19 vaccinations, some states, including the Lone Star State, are now opening eligibility to all adults older than 16. The announcement comes on the verge of President Biden's set goal of April. First, Britt Conway has more on the story.
State by state by state, more and more people are able to get vaccinated against COVID-19. In some states, expanded eligibility for people 16 years and older started earlier this month. Alaska was first, then Mississippi and West Virginia. And starting today, Utah. Texas, Indiana, and Georgia have just announced plans to do the same. And at least 21 more states will be on board by the start of May. Those states right on track with President Joe Biden's goal.
All adult Americans will be eligible to get a vaccine no later than May 1.
Though a number of states aren't opening up eligibility until May or later. So why such a wide range of dates? Medical experts say it's because there are state-by-state differences in supply and demand. Something the president addressed Tuesday, saying there are plans to more rapidly acquire enough vaccines to vaccinate every person in the U.S. quicker than they'd hoped. The people leading the charge against COVID-19 see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Hope is here. We see increasing supply. Vaccines are the way that we're going to get to the other side of this.
But overcoming vaccine hesitancy is crucial, at least according to this epidemiologist.
Good data and information and good stories can help people change their minds and make the right decisions.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Following Tuesday's announcement from the Texas Department of State Health Services, Denton County has now opened their online COVID-19 vaccine waitlist to all adults. Today, UNT is beginning vaccine clinics for those who are registered through the online registration site. Denton County's waitlist can be found at dentoncounty.gov/COVID-19 vaccine. North Texas has reached a milestone in its fight against COVID-19, referred to as the Tactical Care Unit by hospital executives and the, quote, Red Box by their staff. Tuesday morning, Parkland closed its COVID-19 intensive care units. With a team dedicated healthcare professionals, the hospital served as the single largest treatment center in North Texas. Although this isn't the end of the fight, it is a leap forward from where this hospital was 1 year ago.
Rideshare Automation and Payment Integration Demonstration, or better known as RAPID, is Arlington's newest means of transportation. The app provides ride shares with self-driving vehicles that will have a trained attendant in the driver's seat to ensure safe operations and customer service. The program is in partnership with Via Rideshare, May Mobility, and UT Arlington through a $1.7 million grant from the Federal Transit Admissions.
When we come back, we will have an update in the murder trial of Derek Chauvin.
And how one Dallas company is helping refugees. Stay with us.
You've made yourself a target, James.
When you park in front of the ramp, somebody can't make it up the ramp. When somebody can't make it up the ramp, they miss their class. When they miss their class, they fail their final. When they fail their final, they drop out of school. If you drop out of school, you get a face tattoo from a guy named Scorpion. Don't get a face tattoo from a guy named Scorpion. Be courteous. Don't block wheelchair ramps.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Let's get started. This is a motor vehicle. This is the blinker mechanism. To use it, push it up for the right blinker and down to go left. You're welcome. It was easy.
Okay, that's perfect. But I had a great time talking to you today. I have one more question. Is wrestling really real?
What?
Police officer Derek Chauvin has pleaded not guilty to second and third degree murder in the killing of George Floyd. After a long process of jury selection, the 15 jurors have been selected. Opening statements are set to begin this Monday. CNN's Meredith Wood has more.
Make sure you keep After 11 days of questioning,
can you set aside everything that you may have heard beforehand and focus exclusively on the evidence as it's presented in court?
Yes.
striking,
I'm going to excuse you from this case.
and seating,
Juror 118, you will serve on our jury.
the trial of Derek Chauvin finally reaches a full panel of jurors.
We have 15.
While their identities will remain hidden for the duration of the trial, here's what the court has revealed. There are 6 men and 9 women on the panel. 9 self-identify as white, 4 as black, and 2 as mixed race. Race likely to take center stage as the trial moves forward.
I can breathe.
Video of Chauvin kneeling on George Floyd's neck for nearly 8 minutes sparked riots in Minneapolis and worldwide protests calling for racial justice and policing.
I think there is a lot of racism and a lot of divide.
The city of Minneapolis on edge as many say they are fearful of a repeat of last summer.
I'd hate to see what the end result is going to be because you're not going to appease the people.
Opening statements are set for Monday, March 29th. Testimony is expected to take several weeks, and then the final decision will fall on the men and women of the jury. I'm Meredith Wood reporting.
A company in Dallas is giving new opportunities to refugee women. Jin Ya Hong founded Breaking Bread, Breaking Borders to help women become more financially independent by learning how to cook. The women are mentored by professional chefs, caterers, and culinary consultants. Since 2017, her company has given around 24 women new chances to be able to succeed.
I think I would like to continue to grow Break Borders for sure. I'd love to train more women. What we do in the program is we train women in culinary education process, and we find, opportunities to acquire the food handler's permit and the food manager's license, and those certifications, send them on to bigger and better job opportunities in this food service industry.
Hopes her company will help empower refugee women and says her mother was her biggest inspiration to start this social justice initiative in Dallas.
It's how I'm honoring her legacy, right? Is by giving other women opportunities, other immigrant women, other refugee women, other women who feel like an other and didn't belong and didn't know that cooking was a job skill, that this is a way to invest in themselves and also in their families and back into the communities.
Program, visit breakingbreadbreakingborders.com.
I'm hoping it'll be nice enough this weekend to spend some time outside, Cami.
Me too, Jake. Mariana, can we count on that rain making its way out before the weekend?
Yes, guys, we're going to see what to expect this oncoming weekend in a little bit, but for now, let's take a look at the conditions across North Texas. We can see the temperatures are in the high and low 60s. Denton is sitting at 64, and we have the lowest temperatures right here in Graham and Bowie with 60. The highest temperature are being found in Dallas and Sulphur Spring with 68, followed by Fort Worth and McKinney with 66. Now, let's take a look at the temperatures across the state. Now, across the state, we can see the temperatures are quite different. We found Denton as a reference with 64, and the lowest temperature is found in Amarillo with 37. El Paso has a 52 temperature, and we have other cities like Austin with 69, and the highest is found in Houston with 70. Now, let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. Now, as we can see, temperature for today, the highest was 75 and the low is going to be 60. We have a 46% of rain. Tomorrow, it's going to be rainy. We have the highest temperature of 67 and the lowest will be 47, and we're expecting 64% of rain. Now, Friday and Saturday, the weekend is going to be sunny. The highest for Friday is going to be 78, Saturday highest will be 80, and Sunday is going to be 70. Now Monday, the rain will be back, and we're going to have a temperature of 69, the highest, and 56, the lowest. On Tuesday for next week, it's going to be 73, the highest, and 56, the lowest. That's all I have for weather today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Mariana. Small businesses have been struggling across the country during the pandemic.
But here in Denton, one small business is receiving help from an unlikely source. Let's go to our segment anchor, Bella Quintanilla, who can tell us what it's all about.
Rose Costumes in Denton has been around for the past 4 decades, designing, making, repairing, and renting hundreds of costumes. Like many other small businesses, they have been struggling during the pandemic until Denton filmmaker Timothy Stevens decided to help. Stevens was mesmerized by the shop and offered to do a documentary over it to capture the essence of what makes Rose Costumes so special. Stevens expected it to be sort of a historical short film, but after interviewing the employees, it became a film about the transcendent magic of theater and how co-founder Judy Smith really injected that into her shop. They submitted the film to officials of Thin Line, a virtual 6-day documentary film and music festival, where it will be screening today at 3:30 p.m. The documentary will also be streaming for free on March 31st to celebrate Rose Costume's 45th anniversary. Jake and Cammie, back to you.
Thanks, Bella. UNT star wide receiver Jalen Darden is headed to the NFL. ntTV's Zach Fox has a story.
Former North Texas wide receiver Jalen Darden, with a record-breaking senior year, now counts down the days to Pro Day, the opportunity to prove he's NFL ready.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely shed a couple tears because I've been working this hard, and I also haven't done it with my best friend in my life, which is my dad. So that's kind of going to be the hardest part. If anything, I can't share that moment with him.
If drafted, Jalen would be the first UNT football player to go pro since Cody Spencer, drafted in the 6th round in the 2004 draft.
You know, again, he was an unbelievable man to coach, and I'm really, really excited for his future, watching him go out and perform on Sundays. It's going to be great for everybody, but great for him, and I'm really excited about the opportunity to watch him play.
Despite being 5'9" and weighing just over 170 pounds, Darden believes his worth ethic is second to none and is now a role model to future UNT football players to prove you can make it too.
That size and talent doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you just got to go out and achieve what you want to achieve. So if anything, I feel like I put in the work. So therefore, when I show others that they can do the same and they go out and work every day hard as they can, then anything can happen.
Jalen's Pro Day will be Thursday, March 25th, his chance to wow scouts one more time as a member of the Mean Green. I'm Zach Fox, ntTV.
Two best buds made a triumphant return to the White House.
Plus, later on, we will check in with our segment anchor, Marjorie Morales, to find out more about UNT's engineering department. Stick with us.
That time of year where everyone plays a dangerous game with the flu. Going in uneducated, you run the risk of symptoms like cough, migraine, and fatigue. Don't be like this guy. Combat the flu with cough drops, ibuprofen, and a good night's sleep. Be smart, don't catch the flu.
The president welcomes back his 2 German Shepherds to the White House. Biden's dog Major has been in Biden's home state of Delaware working with a trainer after the pet reacted in a surprising manner after seeing an unfamiliar person, which resulted in the individual suffering a minor injury. President Biden said previously that Major's brief stay in Delaware was pre-planned before the individual was harmed due to the president and First Lady scheduled to be away from home for some time. Major is the first shelter dog to ever live at the White House.
Easter is right around the corner, and you know what that means: Easter eggs. One local community is making great Easter eggs a Denton tradition. From virtual egg hunts
Janae's gonna pick the first egg. What's inside? It's a paper.
to at-home ones, COVID has caused many to get creative with Easter.
Among those creatives is the Artists Enclave of Denton County, and this year's online egg auction is aptly named the 6th Annual Exhibition.
It's become very popular. People enjoy the premise.
That's Randall Good, a Denton-based artist and vice president of the Artists Enclave of Denton County.
And part of the fun of something like the exhibition is getting people into the room and actually seeing these creations, you know, live and in person. I think people are keen to do something fun online. They can get out and be on their computer for something maybe other than work, and support a couple of great causes.
This year's auction features all sorts of eggs, from the Mandalorian to the classic Easter style.
This is what they start out looking like. They're just little plaster bisqueware eggs. This is one of the finished eggs that's just come in, and it's just beautiful. So this is by Joy Sibley.
The 6th annual exhibition, which opens Thursday, March 25th and closes March 28th, also supports a local cause.
And this year we partnered with Helping Hands for Little Hearts. So the funds that we will raise, we will be able to offset some of our costs for Artists Enclave, and then proceeds going to them to help out their cause, because they're a wonderful organization.
Go online and see the eggs. Type 32auctions.com/exhibition 6th.
Jake, one thing I always forget is to secure my passwords and info online.
Cami, you're not alone, and UNT is sure to be making strides in cybersecurity in our future. Our segment anchor, Marjorie Morales, has more.
The National Security Agency awarded UNT $1 million in grants. Engineering professors will use the funds for cybersecurity research. Let's take a look. Professors are working on striking a balance between user privacy and functionality for COVID-19 contact tracing software. They're hoping to contribute methods to protect user privacy while allowing medical professionals to see data that can determine who the superspreaders of the virus are.
So they will need to selectively access information about the parties, and if there are persons who are, for example, at the highest risks, they may be able to identify people who must be, for example, vaccinated first. Sometimes it is pretty obvious, for example, the teacher in the class or the first responders, but in some cases in the community, it might not be clear.
He says with this software, people can be traced anonymously and have the option to accept the service. Professor Bomick says apps like this already exist, but the software they are creating would focus on protecting people's personal information.
One of the things is the moment you say we're going to track your movement, people don't like that you don't want to track anybody's movement, right? So we want to provide a guarantee that if you're giving us the data, this is how it is being used. And this is how we cannot use it. So hopefully at some point, people can opt on the amount of privacy they need.
She says that they're currently working with data that'll be public to be able to show how the algorithm will work, and that the privacy aspect will come when using an application with their software. Dr. Dantu is also working with computer science and engineering senior lecturer Mark Thompson on 3 other projects that will focus on increasing the number and quality of cybersecurity professionals. They hope to engage with the next generation about cybersecurity and plan to bridge courses to inspire African American and Hispanic students to get involved. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Marjorie. In other technological news, Walt Disney World is set to test a new facial recognition technology at Magic Kingdom's entrances. The park rolled out its test system yesterday. Disney says it's trying everything in their power to focus on more touchless experiences at their park. The technology converts a guest's face and gives a unique numbered ID, tying it to your admission ticket. The test is optional and will be in place for at least 3 days. Disney has stated that they will do everything in their power to protect guests' private information, but that no security measures are perfect. Cami, did you get a chance to see last night's Star game?
Unfortunately, Jake, I did not, but I know our sports anchor, Sebastian Nava, will catch us up.
That's right. We'll talk about last night's Stars game and today's Mavericks matchup. Plus, a major rebrand is in the works for the DFW's biggest sports channel. We'll talk more about it after the break.
Listen to my flow to save some H2O. This my water rhyme, and this is how it goes. First, turn off the sink and take some time to think. When you waste water, our supply shrinks. When you take a shower, not more than an hour. Shoot for 10 minutes and save water power. Use a reusable bottle, smart like Aristotle. Ditch all the plastic and be a role model. And that was my H2O flow. Please remember how it goes, because if you don't, Earth will go, oh no!
The Stars hosted the Tampa Bay Lightning in another Central Division matchup, coming off a disappointing 4-3 loss to the Nashville Predators on Sunday. The Stars opened the scoring with a goal by Roop Hintz in the first period on a power play assisted by Joe Pavelski and Jason Robertson. But after entering the first intermission and leading 1-0, the Stars would let the match get away from them in the second period, giving up 2 goals to Steven Stamkos and Yanni Gourde to enter the second intermission down 2-1. Lightning goalkeeper Andrei Vasilevsky would use the third period to shut down the Stars' attack and closed out the Lightning victory. The loss keeps the Stars in 7th place of the Central Division and 0-4 against the Lightning this season after losing to Tampa Bay in the Stanley Cup Finals. The Stars' next puck drop will be tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. once again versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Dallas Mavericks will be headed to the Twin Cities tonight to play against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Mavericks are coming off an impressive 40-point win over the Portland Trail Blazers on Sunday. Mavericks star Luka Doncic will be hoping to extend an impressive scoring streak, scoring at least 37 points in his last 3 games. Dallas will be taking on a Timberwolves team who currently sits last in the NBA standings with a 10-33 record led by number 1 overall draft pick and Rookie of the Year candidate Anthony Edwards. The Mavericks are looking to get a repeat of Kristaps Porzingis' performance from the last time the Mavericks played Minnesota, where he put up 27 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 blocks to lead the Mavericks to a 127-122 win. The opening tip-off will be tonight at 7 p.m. on Fox Sports Southwest. One of the biggest sports networks in the Metroplex is getting a major rebrand. Fox Sports Southwest announced that they will be renaming themselves to Bally Sports Southwest. The announcement comes after the Sinclair Broadcast Group, who owns 18 other regional sports networks across the country, partnered with Bally Manufacturing to rename all regional stations to Bally Sports Network. The name change will take effect next Wednesday, March 31st, just a day before the Texas Rangers opening day on April 1st. Along with the naming announcement, it was also announced that the network will broadcast 160 of the 162 regular season games the Texas Rangers will play this season, along with continued coverage of the Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Stars, and UIL High School Athletics. The network will also stream live events on the new Bally Sports app and online at ballysports.com. That's all I have for sports. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Sebastian. They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But what if your favorite breakfast cereal was mixed with seafood? That was the unexpected surprise in the case of comedian and podcaster Jensen Karp. Karp was eating a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch before he noticed a shrimp sitting in his bowl. He claims he had already eaten a full shrimp. After he saw the shrimp, he immediately poured the bowl out. General Mills reached out to Karp saying they would, quote, replace the box. Karp said, quote, it's such a bummer because Cinnamon Toast Crunch is literally the only cereal I eat. It's my favorite since I was a kid. Cami, I don't know about you, but if I find anything other than cereal in my cereal, I'm not sure I'd be able to eat cereal again.
Jake, I might be staying away from Cinnamon Toast Crunch for a while.
Thanks for watching ntTV News at Noon.
Join us again tomorrow here on North Texas Television.